Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, it is 11:03 on Edmonton Sports Talk. Round 2 is just around the corner, and that is exciting. We will set the series up. Florida and Toronto gets going tonight. Winnipeg, who clinched in overtime, double overtime, thrilling fashion last night, will start on Wednesday. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers get rolling on Tuesday and Thursday. You can text us anytime at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you haven't already, and let it be known that the Lock Shop is brought to you by our partners over at Play Alberta. Download the app today. I know the DGen Den is working on the Grand Est parlay, which will be up, as soon as they get it over to me, I'll get it up probably early afternoon. Hop online, playalberta.ca right now, or on the app, and use the code 100sports. That's the number 100, and then sports right behind it, all caps, no spaces, 100 sports. Deposit 20, and you get a $100 free bet. Or you can use the code YEG50. It's YEG50. You deposit minimum $5, and you get a free $50 bet. Also, make sure you use that within 7 days. If you use the promo code and then sit on it for 7 days, the bet will go away. So make sure you use it. Well, I don't know why you would sign up and get it and then not use it. But it's good. Norman at Combine texts in and says, I just got my all good from Play Alberta. What should I bet on? It would be nice if there was a program about betting. Ha ha ha. Luckily for you, there is a couple of things already up on Play Alberta right now on our EST specials page. If you go to playalberta.ca or in the app, you'll see it pop right up under the quick links on the app. EST specials right there in their odds boost and daily specials. Here's what we got so far. Florida Panthers to win. Barkov, Tkachuk, and Reinhart with points plus 295. And then my play of the day, which I posted on Twitter a little while ago. Russell Westbrook, 12 plus points, minus 118. He has surpassed that number in 5 of his last 6, playing extremely well right now. So Russell Westbrook, 12 plus points, minus 118. Those are on the EST specials tab over at playalberta.ca. All right, what a bloody weekend it was. We had the Rantanen period on Saturday. You're like, there's no way anything could top that. And then Winnipeg just said, hold my beer. Let's bring in Huss today, who, I mean, buddy, first you get, because somebody was saying last night, they're like, Huss was on Twitter, was like, this is the greatest. First you get Canada, the U.S. in Boston, winning it in overtime, and then you're in attendance for the Jets, the latest game-tying goal in Stanley Cup playoff history, double overtime. Did you even breathe for like an hour and a half there last night?
Not really. I mean, dude, I am still legitimately in a state of shock. Like, there is an element of disbelief. I tweeted last night, I'm not really going to believe this until I wake up tomorrow, check my phone, and see a Winnipeg-Dallas game scheduled for Wednesday night. And guess what? It's there. It's on the schedule. I mean, I've been fortunate. I mean, sports has been probably like whatever. I'm a sports nerd. I'll own it. Been to a lot of incredible things, Super Bowls, games. That was the craziest sporting experience of my entire life. And listen, it's different when it's your team. But, I mean, there was so much talk, and we kind of said, like, first round, no team had more pressure on them than the Winnipeg Jets. And when you think they started without Velarde and Ehlers, they lose Mark Scheifele. Josh Morrissey goes out 2 minutes into the game last night. And then they finally got Connor Hellebuck back in the third period. which was nice.
Yeah, it was good to see him bounce back.
And listen, that team has so much resiliency, belief in each other. I've never seen anything like it. But yeah, it was the craziest scene I can remember. And the fact that, I mean, it was game 7. Like this was like, if that had been game 1, we'd be talking about it for ages. But to do it in the fashion that they did with so many different guys stepping up when it looked like they were absolutely screwed.
When Ehlers, even like with 4 seconds left, when Ehlers fanned on that one, I was like, oh, that's it. Like that was your chance. You had to get that through. And then Lowry gets it back to him, and then he passes it across the corner. I'm like, what? And then I thought for sure, Trev said this morning on our show, he's like, when Ehlers fanned on that first one from just inside the left point, Trev got up and walked to the fridge. And then he got to the fridge and he heard everybody cheering. He's like, what the hell just happened? Like, I thought for sure it was done when I thought it was done when Ehlers bobbled it with 28 seconds left and it came out to the neutral zone. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It's never easy with this team. It's never easy. 1.6 or whatever left. I think it ended up being 2.2 when they counted it back, whatever. And you should have seen, man, like, so like right after that, all of a sudden it's intermission. We're going to OT.
Yeah.
The scene in the concourse and in the bar by our section after the tying goal going into overtime is another one of those moments you'll just never, ever forget.
Vibe check on an all-time high.
Yeah. And I mean, like, for it to be Perfetti, and I should, well, people can check the my socials for it. Remember Mr. Perfect? The WWE wrestler, Mr. Perfect? So one of the guys I know has taken the Mr. Perfect thing from old WWE, put Cole Perfetti's face on it, and in the Mr. Perfect font, Mr. Perfecti.
Ah, that makes sense.
And I mean, we basically were carrying this guy like on top of people's shoulders throughout the area. Yeah, it's going to probably take a few more days. Like, I mean, we got a game on Wednesday and we'll be right back at it and, ready for round 2.
Oh, that is a great hoodie.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But yeah, the next couple days, like our WST show today is going to be an all-timer. I mean,
for sure.
And guess what? Our little for the community came through with the Leafs, the Oilers. I was worried that the Jets were going to be the ones that took us down, but nope. They got her done. And we're now down to the final 8. And what I do wonder, and again, we don't know who's going to be able to play. I mean, it's very likely that the Jets are going to still be really undermanned. We'll see whether Dallas gets Heiskanen back and where Robertson is at. But I don't know, man. There's something about when a team faces such adversity.
Yeah, it's true.
Able to battle through it. And I'll tell you what, I mean, this will go back to Hellebuck, and like, thank God Hellebuck isn't the main topic today, because he certainly would have been if they lost that game. He now gets to come back and I think sort of repay the fellas for what they were able to do in bailing him out for round number 1. I mean, if you told me that Hellebuck would play like that and you'd lose Scheifele and you'd lose Morrissey and all that, I mean, how are you going to win a series?
Yeah,
like that?
You're right. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, my early lean is on Dallas for the next round, but you make a number of very good points. Like, they lost a couple of big, like, key guys, found a way to win. Hellebuck was nowhere close to Hellebuck from the regular season, still found a way to win. And you have to think, what's the current health status of these guys, Huss? Like, was there any update on Morrissey or anything? What was going on there?
No, there was no update, okay. And they're not skating today. They're completely off. So we'll get a better idea tomorrow as to, although I don't really think that we will, knowing that they're going into a new series.
Yeah, things will be under wraps.
They'll probably just say that they're all day to day and their game time decisions, even if they're out for the entire series. So, in reality, we'll look at the morning skate and see who's going with the lines for Wednesday. And then really probably won't truly know until Wednesday night. But Morrissey was really laboring already, and he took a couple hits, but that one on Sundqvist, and he came like we'd seen him sort of slumped over on the bench at times early in the series. But man, for him to lose it like Neil Pionk last night.
Well, I was going to say Neil Pionk was like 8 seconds away from setting the all-time Game 7 time on ice record.
is that what it was?
Yeah. Wow. Chris Pronger in 99. Here, I saved this. Let me just bring it up. I figured we'd probably talk about this today. Yeah, most time on ice in a Game 7 since 98 when time on ice tracking began. Chris Pronger, 46-18. And then 46-10 for Neil Pionk. Prongers was back in 99. These are the guys that Pionk is now in the class with. Chris Pronger, Neil Pionk, Al McInnes, and Brent Burns. I mean, those are 3 guys that log a ton of ice time. And skating back for some of those icings, even late in regulation, Pionk already looked bag. And he still somehow tacked on like another 20 minutes after that.
Was that a tweet from someone?
Yeah, Stats Center. I'll retweet it right now, Huss, and then you can, because I didn't retweet it originally. I just retweeted it, so you can grab that and hit that on WST later.
Yeah, people will enjoy that one.
Phenomenal stuff, though. I mean, when Ehlers got in on that breakaway on Binnington in overtime and didn't bury, I was like, God. And then they came back the other way and Broberg's stick broke, I think. And It was just, it was a highly entertaining. Marshall stayed up with me, watched the first overtime, and then I made him go to bed because it was a school night. But he goes to me, he goes, Daddy, if somebody scores early in overtime, I might still be up, so you can come get me. I said, okay. And then obviously he passed out pretty quick because it was a late night. But it'll be interesting to see what this does for the Winnipeg Jets coming together as a group like this. We'll see what happens with Dallas too, likely or possibly getting some bodies. But that's going to be a hell of a series, though. And the Jets against Dallas, didn't Dallas roll in and like the Jets just controlled that? I remember you talking about that game specifically on Lock Shop like a month ago.
Two huge games down the stretch because, of course, the whole thing was battling for first place and trying to avoid Colorado in the first round. And the first test was in March. I think it was March 14th. Dallas came into Winnipeg. Lots of hype for that game. And the Jets were phenomenal. It was either 4-1 or 4-0. And then as Dallas kind of tightened up the lead, chipped away at the lead, the Jets then went in, and it was a game basically for the Central Division title on April 10th in Dallas. And it was the same thing. I think that was the 4-0 game where Hellebuck got the shutout. So they've played Dallas very, very well this year. I think they were 3-1 against them, 2-0 at home. So they'll be ready to go. Dallas is a hell of a team, and they had to get everything from all of their players, particularly one Mikko Rantanen, to beat the Colorado Avalanche. I can't wait for the series. I mean, the series base in the West, especially. I mean, Winnipeg, Dallas, Oilers, Vegas. We've seen the brand of hockey's been a little different in the Central Division than it has been elsewhere. I mean, that was the most physical, relentless series we've seen. And I mean, credit to St. Louis. I mean, if you're going to beat the St. Louis Blues, you're going to feel it afterwards. And I think the Jets really, they are right now. It goes without saying with the guys that they're missing. I don't think it'll be as physical when Dallas comes to town, but we'll see. I mean, maybe both of these teams kind of realize that that's the way that, I'm fascinated to see how, like, if it's the Oilers, how the conference final will look, as opposed to if it's a team if it's Vegas and Dallas, we'll probably see a kind of a rougher series. If it's the Oilers, that's a team that'll kill you with their speed and, all the offense that they're going to roll in on you. So we got a couple of great series. The East too, for that matter. I think Toronto, Florida is going to be really good. And obviously we've known for a while that Washington and Carolina were playing, but bring it on. Bring on the big show today for WST. A couple more days of just talking about the most incredible comeback in probably Winnipeg sports history. I mean, I was in holding for the Dave Ellett goal in 1990. And that was thought to be the greatest moment in Jets 1.0 history. I mean, unfortunately, it didn't end with a win. That put the Jets up 3-1 against the Oilers. And of course, the Oilers came back and won 3 straight. And that was sort of the moment. And it was all downhill from there. To have that happen last night in a game 7, tying it up at the last second, winning it in double OT. There's definitely a new number 1 in this city. And we'll be talking about it forever.
I don't know if it was a buddy who texted me last night or if somebody on Twitter was just like, after the Bombers' recent failures in big games, if the Jets don't win game 7 in overtime, I'm not sure the city is going to be able to handle it. So congratulations to the city of Winnipeg advancing to the second round.
We're 2 steps away from the Lock Shop Bowl.
Is that close?
Conference finals.
Is that close? There's only 4 teams left. There's 2, and we'll set up these series and take a look at it. All of the road teams are actually favored in these series, so we'll get to that. But what about Rantanen's period, Huss? The third period, how could you possibly have a better period in the history of the National Hockey League than Game 7, third period, revenge game? Your team's down 2-0 to your old team, and you go out and get a hat trick and an assist. You get the empty netter to seal it away. I can't remember a period that was better in the history of the game for one guy. It's insane.
He went legend. He went legendary against his old team. And I mean, I have to admit, I got a kick out of it. I've got some friends in Denver and a couple of guys that come on the shows. And at the end, they were firing Chris McFarland, the general manager.
Yeah.
For trading him in the first place. I mean, there is such regret on letting that guy go. But yeah, it was stupid. I mean, how does one guy just take over a game like that? I mean, against a team that's as good as the Colorado Avalanche. And, we want to talk about playoff demons. The Avs have now lost 7 straight game 7s. Hard to believe. Cale Makar.
Is that the number? 7 straight game 7s? I didn't see that. Yes. What?
And Peter DeBoer.
Yeah, 9-0
in game 7s. That might be the most incredible coaching stat in pro sports. When you think about it, I mean, game 7s can go either way. To be perfect and win 9 times as opposed to 0 losses, unbelievable, unfreaking believable.
That is pretty remarkable. We got one series starting tonight. We will get into that. Big Uke says Nathan McKinnon is 0-5 in game 7s so far for Colorado, which is it's quite something. All right, Huss, let's dive into these series here, and we should start with the one that starts tonight, and then we'll hit the East, and then we'll come back around, obviously, to Winnipeg, Dallas, and Edmonton and Vegas. The Toronto Maple Leafs will get rolling tonight against the Florida Panthers. Florida -175 favorites in this series, coming off just an incredibly strong effort against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Huss, I mean, the Leafs, they get by the Sens. They don't choke it away like some of us thought. Started that series very well. Eventually finished it off. The Leafs +140 dogs in this thing. I can't convince myself that the Maple Leafs are any different, that they're going to be able to get past the Florida Panthers in this situation. Am I wrong? Can you make a case for them? What would be the case here?
Well, I mean, I guess the case is that they, got over a pretty big hump with that first round win. They know the Panthers very, very well. They did well against them over the course of this year. And it is easy to always think of a team as, like the Jets. Like, this is a perfect example. Wow, they can't win in the playoffs. They can't get it done. Well, I mean, you can't do it until you do it. The same thing with Bobrovsky. He'll never win a cup. Oh, now he's a Stanley Cup winner. So I actually give the Leafs more of a chance, I think, than a lot of people do in this series. They've got some elite all-world talent on that team. They're not going to have a chance of doing it if they don't get the best of Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander in particular, and obviously great goaltending. But I kind of do think that this is going to be, a long series. I think there's a lot of people that are sort of writing the Leafs off. Now, I get why Florida is the favorite. I mean, listen, you're the champs until you're not, and they've set the bar pretty damn high right now for that level in the playoffs. But when you look at what Toronto's bringing to the table, and I think Craig Berube's a key guy in this as well. They're playing a little bit more like their head coach, and he knows about getting on a run. He of course was the head coach of the Blues in 2019 when they had that crazy run all the way to it. So I'm with you. I think Florida probably wins this series in 6 or 7, but I really do think Toronto's going to make a series of it, and I wouldn't at all be surprised if Toronto got out to a great start tonight as a plus money home dog against the Panthers at home. I mean, I know we joke about that building being somewhat of a library. I think now that they've gotten past Ottawa, they know who their opponent is, and it's a team that they don't very much like and have a pretty good rivalry with. I think the team will be ready, and I certainly think that the fans should be, even though, we know how many Leaf fans and how passionate they are. Unfortunately, most of them can't afford to get into that building for these games. So
great party outside.
I'm not expecting a library though. Well, what about you? Where are you at on this?
I mean, I think my favorite play, if I had to pick a series here, series result would be Florida in 6. I think Florida in 6 is plus 350 right now. You can get it. Just click on hockey over at Play Alberta, then slide on in NHL playoffs, and that's where you'll see your series prices. Florida in 6 would probably be my play. I don't think they get it done. I know they got Tampa done in 5, but I mean, I think Toronto gives them probably a bit of a better test than the Tampa Bay Lightning did. So. Yeah, Florida in 6 or 7. I think Florida probably gets it done in 6. I don't know if this one necessarily goes 7. And I don't know if I'm going to be coming on the air after they get eliminated and being like, Toronto. Florida's just a really good hockey team. The problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs here is they're running into a team that's been to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals, who just won it last year, who added 2 significant pieces throughout the season. There's no shame in losing to the Florida Panthers here. So.
Listen, the entire round of 8 is.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you're talking about the upper echelon of teams right now in the NHL.
Yeah, there's no Cinderellas riding into round 2 here.
There's already some really good teams that are already out. I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning were awesome this year. The Colorado Avalanche were a very, very scary team. The Los Angeles Kings, who the Oilers dispatched, had an amazing season. So, yeah, I mean, I think that we're going to have 4 teams that don't make it on to round 3 that have had amazing seasons that you could absolutely see in a different scenario winning, which is going to make this round. I mean, listen, round 1 overall, one of the best rounds of playoff hockey I think that we've ever had. And it is so nuts being here in Winnipeg, because you'll remember the Jets Blues game 1 was the first game of round 1. And because of building availability and whatnot, the series got stretched out. So what was in fact the final game of it as well. So I'm very thankful that there's 2 days before this next game. And to be honest, I was sort of stunned when I saw it today. Wait a second, round 2 starts tonight.
Yeah, right away.
I thought if anything, it would have been Washington, Jersey starting first, just because they'd finished their series so much earlier. But we get after it tonight, and I'm actually sort of frisky on the Leafs for game number 1 at home tonight.
If you like the Leafs tonight, plus 100 at home tonight in game 1 to get off to how important do you think it is that they get game 1?
Huge.
Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? Yeah, if Florida wins tonight.
I mean, then all of a sudden you're playing catch up. They've got home ice. Now, I mean, home ice didn't mean much in the Panthers series.
No, that's true.
I mean, they were able to win on the road, and they did it 3 times. But for the Leafs, getting off to a great start and not playing from behind, I think in this series is going to be really, really crucial for them. So, if you're getting them at plus money tonight, I kind of like the value on Toronto right now in game number 1 to come out with a really, really good start in this series. And Florida won't be faced at all if they lose one. Even they could lose the first 2. And I think they'll come back with a lot of confidence that they're still in this series and get back into it. But for the Leafs, I think it's absolutely crucial that they get it done tonight and get off to a nice start in the series. And I think I will be backing Toronto when I make some picks later on today.
We've been waiting for this Carolina-Washington series here for a little while now. Carolina minus 152 series favorites against the Washington Capitals. I mean, to me, the Washington Capitals are just too good of team to not get on them as a dog in a series. I mean, it's simple as that. Plus 125. I will definitely take that number, not necessarily just to fade the Canes, but it's out of respect for a Washington Capitals team that pretty much all season long, you're like, oh, the Caps are pretty good. They're probably going to fall off at some place. Oh, the Caps lost to Ovi. Well, they'll probably slide away at some point, but they didn't. I mean, they just continue to be a very good hockey team from start to finish all year, and now you can get them at plus money value in this series against the Carolina Hurricanes. What type of series are you expecting here, Huss? I mean, this is going to be a long one too, isn't it?
I mean, listen, as I said, I'm high on Washington. I think that they're ready to go. They've got home ice. I don't understand why Carolina is as big of a favorite. Like, I've seen the Caps, in some places, like more than plus 140 dogs for the entire series, which, I mean, like, we've talked about this before. There's something about Carolina's, I think, metrics and underlying numbers that make them a real darling of the books. I mean, how many times this year have you been, checking out the Stanley Cup odds?
Yeah.
And like, it's been Carolina right there. I mean, for most of the season, it was Edmonton before they sort of fell back a little bit, Edmonton in the West, and the Carolina Hurricanes in the East. And, just like we were talking about the Leafs before and the Jets getting out of the first round, I mean, Carolina, I guess they've got a pretty good track record of getting out of their division. But, I mean, they haven't won a game in the conference finals. I think they're 0-12. Got swept 3 times.
That's a horrible look.
But listen, I think Washington is absolutely built for the playoffs. I mean, if they get goaltending on a par with the other team, I think they've easily got as good of a chance to beat the Hurricanes as it does the other way. Like, I think we hit this last week once we knew that this series the matchup was set. I think of this as almost a pick 'em, or maybe it should be a little favored towards Washington. So I'm not really buying what a lot of books are selling with the Canes being such a big favorite in this one. I love the value on Washington. I like Washington in game number 1, and I love them to win the series. I think that this is a team that is ready for what is next. I love their coach, Spencer Carberry. And we got a chance to see them up close at the end of March. And, dude, this is a team that is big. It's physical. I mean, they seem ready to play playoff hockey. And it should be a good one. I mean, Carolina is a heck of a team, too. But I don't understand why the Capitals are priced the way they are right now, considering the season they've had and the players that they're bringing to the table.
Quick note from the chat and online right now. Marc-Andre Fleury has accepted an invitation to go play for Team Canada the World Championships. Going to wrap this thing up in a Team Canada jersey, buddy. And until somebody else offers him something else, and then he's going to go play there. He'll be in the Spangler next December just to get a piece of it. So he'll be joining McKinnon and Crosby. And I don't know if you were at the game last night, so you wouldn't have been watching, but so I have to tell you, I was sitting there watching overtime. I can't remember if it was double overtime or overtime, but we're waiting for a face-off in the Jets offensive zone, I think. And John Garrett on the call on color just goes, you know what I was reading today? Sidney Crosby is going to Team Canada for the World Championships. And I'm sitting there as a play-by-play broadcaster going, why are you talking about this right now? It's double overtime, a game 7 of a series. And this is no way tied to this game at all. I blew my mind. I was like, what are we doing here? I get it. Crosby going, I get it. It's not like it broke right at that very moment. He's just like, I was reading today, Sidney Crosby's going to the World Championships. I was like, what's going on?
Hilarious.
Oh, it was classic. Just classic John Garrett, man. Too funny.
It probably would have driven me absolutely nuts if I was watching.
You would have lost your mind.
Fan. Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing here? But you know what? I'll give Harn Ryan Singh credit as well. He did a great job of this series and an epic call. But the call that everyone needs to see, and I know we'll be playing this a couple times on the show, was Paul Edmonds, who does the local radio for 680 CGOB here. He let her rip in all-time fashion last night. First on the Perfetti tying goal, and then on Adam Lowry's winner last night. He's going to need some cough drops today, some lozenges, and to take it easy on the throat for a couple days. What's the craziest you've ever been in the booth? Like, as far as like the most.
I can tell you the exact moment. It's not CFL related. It's not any sort of. I'll go back to Fort McMurray. I was doing play-by-play for the Oil Barons on my way up, and it was a playoff game between St. Albert Steel, I believe at the time, and the Fort McMurray Oil Barons, and there was a goalie fight at center ice in a playoff game. And I swear to God, I almost fell out of the booth. Like my color guy was holding my jacket back because I was, and the place was just, it was packed like the old Thickwood Heights Arena in Fort Mac for these playoff games. I mean, it was thousands and thousands of people, standing room only. And like my booth was up in the corner. And when I leaned out of it, like the standing room guys were right below. So I'm calling this fight. I remember the Oil Barons goalie's name was Steven Legato. And anyway, Legato, I can't remember who he was fighting, but the guy who was fighting, I think used to listen to 1260 back in the day. He texted in one day, he goes, Dusty, that was me. I was the guy fighting. So I'm calling this, it's a full online brawl. I'm calling the goalie fight at center ice. And I'm losing my mind. They finally finished the fight, and the fans like right below me. I'm just high-fiving all of them before the guy pulls me back into the booth. It was just, God, man, I'll never, ever, ever forget that. That was what? I mean, I've called some great CFL stuff. I got that 59-yard field goal to win the Hardy Cup the one year in Calgary. But I'll never forget that one, man. Oh, so good.
Was it junior?
That was like, yeah, the Alberta Junior Hockey League. Yeah, AJHL. Yeah. God, well, that was such a good tilt, too.
It would be funny. Paul's done a lot of games. That one, I mean, he always brings it. I mean, great local radio broadcasters that know who their audience is. You can really lean into it. I'm not sure he'll have the opportunity. Who knows? Maybe he will have the opportunity for some more legendary calls because the Jets are still in it. They're playing the Dallas Stars starting on.
They're rolling on to another round.
What's the vibe check around Oil Nation right now as they get ready for a series against Vegas that's basically a pick'em?
I would say relatively confident, to be honest with you. The way you come out of this series against the Kings, they're playing their best hockey of the season, I think undoubtedly. And then in Vegas is interesting. I was looking at their series against Minnesota, and like Aiden Hill had an 880. Their power play was like middle of the pack. Their penalty kill was middle of the pack.
Are there any goalies with good numbers?
Nah, I think Stolars are okay, aren't they? I think Stolars are okay. Who else has? We were looking this up. Somebody else had decent numbers. I was like, oh, he's doing okay. Let me bring it up here. But I would say overall, Huss, I think the level of confidence in the Oilers right now, and they're minus 125 series favorites. That number hasn't changed over the last few days. There's a more confident feel, I think, in the city right now to the Oilers beating the Golden Knights than there was prior to the series against the Kings. Take that for what it's worth.
Well, I mean, it's partly not only did they beat the Kings, but the way they did it. I mean...
Okay, Logan Thompson, 923. That's right. So
okay,
Logan Thompson has a 923. Freddie Anderson has a 936. And then other goalies who are still in the playoffs, Ottinger's at 911. Stolars is 901. Bobrovsky's 901. Pickard's 893. Who am I missing? Aiden Hill's 880. And Helly's 830.
830. At least it starts with an 8.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There was time there for a bit. We were.
Would you say overconfident here in Edmonton, maybe a little bit, do you think?
Hey, listen, when you go to the Cup final last year and go to Game 7, and you're rolling out a lineup that includes Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and you just won in spectacular fashion against the best home team in the league, you should be confident. I mean, listen, Vegas, I'm sure you talk to people in Vegas, they'll feel pretty good about their chances, but they know they're going up against a juggernaut and a buzzsaw, and they're going to have to be so good as a team. Listen, there's a lot of pressure on McDavid and Draisaitl, but those guys seem to rise to the occasion. To me, the biggest difference, or what's going to determine that series, is going to be, obviously, first and foremost, can, Vegas, you're never going to truly keep those two guys in check, but can they make it difficult for them? Can they minimize the grade A scoring chances and the special things that those guys do? And then Vegas is a really deep team. I mean, you see they're getting big goals from Brad Howden and Kolasar and Roy. I think as you get deeper down the lineup, I think Vegas has an advantage. But again, 29 and 97 are the biggest neutralizers or secret weapons in the entire National Hockey League. And if you can't have some success when those guys are out there, it's going to be tough to win. But I think Oiler fans should absolutely be confident. I mean, this is a team that's learned some hard lessons in previous playoffs. They got to the precipice of it last night, and two teams with some championship pedigree going at it. It should be an awesome, awesome series. And I guess you guys are going Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday?
Tuesday, Thursday, and then actually the old 7:00 start here at home on Saturday, which is kind of nice after just a steady diet of 8s and 8:30s in the last round. So it's kind of a positive.
We're going back to back 8:50 puck drops on Wednesday and Friday. Think about Friday. That crowd is going to be
about
totally lubricated.
2.5 hours in at that point, eh? Like you finish work, you get changed, you get out. It's about 6:00. You got 2.5 hours to indulge before the game starts.
It's big time, big time good news for all the bars and restaurants in and around the area last night, or in and around the area of the arena. And I mean, I'm sure you've seen the pictures. I mean, like the street party is rocking 2.5 hours before the game. Right by the Dale Howardchuk statue, there's this new Hargrave Street Market in True North Plaza.
Is that where the party is?
Yeah,
do you have a cool name for it yet, Huss? Do you have a cool name for it, like the Moss Pit? Have you come up with something yet?
Oh, that's a good question.
Should do that on your show.
So.
Yeah.
Yes. What should that be? I mean, what gets a lot of the most attention is what's happening just outside the building with that street party and those shots that you see on TV that are going down the street. And then they've got the other party kind of on the other side.
So the ones we're seeing on TV are just right outside the building down the street there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, literally from Portage Avenue past Graham on the side of the arena, just outside, and then kitty corner on the other side of the building. That's where the Howardchuk statue is, and this new development that they put together that's not nowhere near as big, I would say, as what you guys have outside of Rexall.
I know what you're talking about, though. I've walked past that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Exactly, there's a decent little amount of size there. Yep.
Dude, the scene there afterwards. I mean, I didn't leave the building for probably half an hour afterwards, but instead of just jumping in the whip and leaving, we went downstairs and just walked outside and took it in. And that was a scene that hopefully can be duplicated as we get going. But Wednesday night, Dallas Stars. As you can see, it still doesn't entirely seem real that happened last night, but it did.
Yeah, just in the most script. So what do you think what is the better scripted weekend game from the weekend? The Rantanen game in the third, or the Jets scoring 2 in the final minute, 1 with 3 seconds left, and then winning it in overtime to overcome these playoff demons themselves?
I mean, if you like the drama, it's the Winnipeg game. If you like the story about a superstar playing against his old team that just traded him, putting together an all-time singular performance in the third period, it's the Dallas one. You can make the argument on both sides, but as far as the pure just sports, the final seconds, like literally down to your last chance, that was the Winnipeg game. And how about Cole Perfetti? Like Perfetti a year ago was not able to get into the lineup for some of the playoff games under Bones. And, he came back, and again, he's learned, like a lot of Jets, he's learned some lessons the hard way, what you need to do to be able to compete throughout the regular season, never mind the playoffs. And he was a little snake bit early in the series. He ringed it off a couple posts. Binner made a couple massive saves on him. He was getting the chances. And then he got that power play goal in game number 6 that I think really got him going. And I mean, the deflection. Did you see his first goal?
His first one that was a nice tip, man.
That's as nice a deflection as you will see. And it had to be perfect to beat Binnington. But then his second, will be a goal that, he could retire tomorrow and he would be an all-time legend. That is, we've been talking about that damn Dave Ellett goal literally for 35 years in this city. Perfetti's two-piece in the dying minutes is now the new number one. And then, man, for Pionk and Lowry to combine for that final goal, I can't think of two guys.
Yeah. When Lowry scored that, I thought, fitting. Like, this is how it's supposed to be.
Did you see on TNT afterwards the interview with Adam Lowry, and then they brought Bones on?
I saw that, man. They're like, I love you too.
Dude. We and I'm sure we'll get into this too. Scott Arniel has done such an incredible job with this team this year, and the results speak for themselves. But Rick Bowness's fingerprints are all over the culture of this team and the identity of the team. And it was really neat to have Bones on the panel last night, talking to Adam Lowry, the guy that he named captain after stripping Blake Wheeler, which is maybe the most necessary move that this team has made in the 2.0 era. And they've never looked back since. But if you haven't seen that, check it out. It was really cool. You can tell the genuine love that those guys have for each other.
Plus, I'm not just sticking with hockey here for a second. I'm not sure you saw, but Frank Saravalli announced that he's leaving Daily Faceoff.
Yeah.
And will be a free agent on July 1st.
Getting free agency on July 1st.
If we were going to set odds on most likely company to sign him, who's the front runner right now? Who's the minus 200, minus 300 front runner, do you think?
Well, listen, in Canada, you're basically looking at two. There's TSN or Sportsnet. I think that considering Sportsnet, has Elliot Friedman, who really does seem to be sort of the standard. I think it's maybe more likely that, TSN would be that guy. But then I kind of start thinking, okay, is there a spot either with NHL media or...
What about ESPN?
I was just about to say, like TNT, ESPN... do either of them sort of have a quote unquote insider?
I don't think they really do. Like, I don't think either one of them. Kevin Weeks kind of plays that role a bit, but neither of them have like a guy that would sit on a panel as an insider, essentially. So I don't know what, Frank, he lives in the States. He's an American. It would kind of make sense if there could be a deal there for him. I think that might make the most sense.
I'm a big Frank guy. I'm a fan of his. I've always loved talking to him on and off the air. So I'm hopeful that he ends up in a good spot and continues to do what he's doing. But that's a loss for the DFO guys, because I thought that was a pretty big coup for them.
It was when they first got him. That was a big deal, man. Big time deal.
Frank in the mix. And listen, credit to them. They continue to build, and obviously Merrick's now doing his show over there. But I'm quite interested, from a media side of things, where Frank goes next. and certainly wish him well. If he wants to come on a WST and do a LeBron style, the decision, more than welcome. I'll text him and see if he wants to do that on the first.
Only, of course, if he raises $2 million for local kids charity. That would be the key there. All right, Huss, what's coming up on WST today, buddy? What do you got?
Well, it is going to be a banger. We
all-time high in views today, do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised.
God.
I would not be surprised. I mean, everything is hot in the playoffs right now.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Connor and Liss, I think, got 6.4K for the Sunday morning 9 a.m. show.
No, come on.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And one of the things that I'm sure Remus is already working on, but a new segment on WST called Check the Receipts. The amount of stuff that Blues fans have been posting, like, our numbers were huge in Missouri over this last 2 weeks, but especially this last little while. And I mean, there were Blues fans posting in the third period on some of our pages. So we're gonna have a fun segment of checking the receipts for our friends down in Missouri, and just aftermath. Button's gonna come on. He is all fired up.
Yeah, we had Button this morning.
Put on as well.
Yeah, Button was great this morning, man. He's in his zone right now.
He's my favorite. I gotta just to say, we work with a lot of great people and people that have been kind enough to come on our shows, and the content. And a lot of people will say, "Oh, I'm good anytime," or "I'll do that," and then there's guys like Craig that walk the walk and are always there for us. I'm not sure there's a single person from our old place at TSN that has been more supportive of what we've done since we've moved than Craig. And I know he's a fan of the Jets and what they've done so far. So that's going to be an awesome conversation coming up. And obviously Mike McIntyre as well. But a victory Monday, unlike any other today on WST.
He's but it's funny you mentioned this because Button's regular day is Tuesday. But Dreger texted me last night. He's like, "Hey, I'm in Winnipeg. I'm flying home tomorrow. What can you do?" I said, "No problem." I text Button. I'm like, "Can you flip on a Monday?" He goes, "Of course." I was like, "Okay, perfect." He's I honestly think he'd join us 5 days a week if we requested him.
He just absolutely loves talking hockey.
Yeah,
he loves talking hockey, and he loves. I mean, I have to admit, like, our conversations with Craig now in this space compared to, what they were before with more regimented timing and, we've got this much time for a certain segment. I mean, I love just winding him up and letting him go sometimes. And we'll have some of that today on the program. I can assure you, it won't be a short segment with Craig.
It never is. You can keep him as long as you need to. All right, Huss, we'll let you slide over to WST and we'll catch up with you tomorrow, man.
Excellent. Oiler fans, appreciate the support. A lot of nice comments from the Nasties. Big U, all the guys in our spot yesterday after the program. And as I say, 8 wins away from a Winnipeg Edmonton conference final, guaranteed Canadian team. It's got to happen, right? It's got to happen.
That'd be so good.
Let's see what happens. But looking forward to this one. I like the Leafs tonight on the money line, and we'll get after it tomorrow with 2 games, and of course the start of the Oiler night series.
There we go. That is Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. WST coming up in about 9 minutes time. We're going to recap everything we've got locked and loaded for you right now over on the EST specials page at playalberta.ca. If you've not yet signed up for an account, or if you have an account already, we got a couple of codes for you. I bet many of you probably already hit these already, but they'll work up until the end of May. Then we'll get new codes, which is nice as well. But deposit $20 or more, get a $100 free bet using the code 100sports. That's for new and existing players. Or you can enter the code YEG50, YEG50, and receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's it. Deposit $5, you get a free $50 bet. Just use the code YEG50. That's for new and existing users. And remember, use your game sense when you're playing at Play Alberta. Don't get too carried away. Don't go beyond your means. Just be smart about it. Here's what we put together so far for you today. I just added in a little something coming out of the lock shop as well. We've got the early bird bet, Panthers to win, Barkov, Kachuk, and Reinhart. plus 295. That's Barkov, Tkachuk, and Reinhart all with just 1 point or more, plus 295. Florida wins. I know Huss said he's liking the Leafs tonight at a plus 100 number. I don't know. I wonder if there's a little bit of a letdown there for Toronto after getting by Ottawa. And I don't expect one from Florida, but we'll see. Anyway, Panthers to win with points from Barkov, Tkachuk, and Reinhart, plus 295. Dusty's play of the day is available over at the EST special section, which is Russell Westbrook, 12 plus points, minus 118. And then I just threw this bad boy up. And I was going to toss Dallas into this as well, but I just couldn't do it with our connection to WST and Huss. I do think I like Dallas in that series, but I do not want to profit off of it. It just doesn't seem right when EST and WST are so tight. So the lock shot partner parlay, Edmonton Oilers to win their series, Washington Capitals to win their series. Got a little boost on it. It's plus 305. The Oilers are minus 125 favorites. The Capitals are plus 125 dogs. We got it put together. They boosted it up. It's at plus 305. So I like that one. I think Washington is going to beat the Carolina Hurricanes. And, of course, many of us are on the Edmonton Oilers. So Oilers and Caps to both win their series, plus 305. Matt Hyman over in the chat says, Jets lost game 6 because of Dusty. Look, I had a feeling. I was right. I loved the Blues in game 6. And if you would have caught me before game 7, I might have leaned Blues a little bit in that one too. But yeah, I'm not going to bet against the Jets here in this series against. I'm not going to bet against them, but I don't know, man. Dallas is a really good team, and Winnipeg's a good team too. That should be a hell of a series. Very much looking forward to that. I don't know how much of the Washington-Carolina series I plan on consuming, but the other 3, inject it into my veins. Very excited about that one. If you're watching over on YouTube right now, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. And turn on autoplay because we got the oil stream coming up right away. The Los Angeles Kings have fired Rob Blake. The Edmonton Oilers do it again as they continue to dismantle Pacific Division teams one by one by one. And we'll get into that on the oil stream. We'll start to preview, obviously, the Oilers and Golden Knights in round 2 as well. And we will dive into the new numbers game segment for Play Alberta over on the oil stream. A couple of things that we can look at there. That is coming up. If you're on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, stick around. Oil stream starting in less than 5 minutes. Tommy Gazzola is right here. He's ready to rock. If you're on YouTube, turn on autoplay. Don't go anywhere. Oilers, Golden Knights. Round 2 begins tomorrow. We'll start to set it up on the oil stream right away. That's going to do it for the Lock Shop today. Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.